Hello everyone. Today is 21st of February. Now it's 3:30 in the afternoon Moscow time. I'm Levon Gudadze and this is new episode of Headlines, short summary of the news that I will talk about in my second update on my Patreon page. Let's go through the headlines. As you can see, I'm in one of the shopping malls here in Dmitrov. Nothing extraordinary, of course. Just just shopping mall, and I will just go for a walk around this floor. And headlines in no particular order. RT is reporting that Boris Johnson, former Prime Minister of United Kingdom, asked for $1 million for an interview with Tucker Carlson. I saw that episode of interview of Tucker Carlson with Blaze TV, I believe. Glenn Beck, that's a person who was interviewing Tucker Carlson, and he definitely said that Boris Johnson, his assistants, asked for $1 million for an interview, which is well. And dear friends, as always, all the details about every single news that I will report in a second update on my Patreon. If you are, interested, you can see link under this video in description box. You can subscribe, of course, and support my work this way through Patreon subscription. Next headline is that Poland threatened Ukraine with some sanctions on imports of goods from Ukraine, which is quite interesting. This was said by Deputy of Agriculture Minister. Also interesting headline that one of the small EU countries become Russia's biggest whiskey supplier. Quite interesting, by the way. That state are not really producing whiskey. It's a third party, let's say. And as you can see, because of the Western sanctions, producers of the whiskey, they are not really able or not really risking to do business with Russia. But third countries that are also EU members, they are willing to make money, including countries that are led by extreme Russophobes, by the way, which is definitely this case. Of course, details in the second update. Also interesting headline that children of draft dodgers in Ukraine may be banned from Ukrainian universities, which is something on the level of fascism, because this is crazy. This is crazy, man. But when it comes to Kiev regime, everything is abnormal there. Also, headline that Putin, by the way, had a meeting with with officers and military personnel of Russian aerospace forces, and he awarded medals and orders today for their great commitment and work to protect Russia, which is interesting also. And by the way, when it comes to honoring Russian military personnel, I reported in the first update that Gerasimov was in the zone of special military operation. He also awarded military personnel that was participating in the... Ань, а может подняться? Gerasimov was awarding military personnel who was participating in Avdeevka operation, and later on I share on my Telegram that video of Gerasimov with some his colleagues. So it is official. This topic about Gerasimov being killed somewhere in Crimea some long time ago is closed now, for sure. You can check that video on my Telegram if you are interested. Also headline, by the way, that according to a TASS news agency, US will complete training of first bunch of Ukrainian pilots before summer for F-16 fighter jets, which is quite nice paintings there. And as I reported this morning, overall, US plans to train 12 pilots for F-16s this year. Also interesting news that according to Minister of Oil in Iran, recent explosion on one of the major pipelines, gas pipelines in Iran, was conducted by Israeli secret services. This is, one may say, official statement from Iran and blame of Israel. And I remind you, dear friends, that New York Times already reported on 17th of February, if I remember correctly, that most likely behind that explosions, several explosions, at least two, on a major Iranian gas pipeline was Israel. But yet again, of course, one may say that more factual evidences are needed to believe any of the sites. Also interesting headline that three top-tier banks in China are refusing now to work with Russian businesses. And well, unfortunately, this is a story that is relative constantly. Yesterday, I reported about similar situation in UAE. Now top-tier Chinese banks are refusing to do business, which is understandable. They are afraid of secondary sanctions from US. But yet again, there are some second-tier banks, third-tier financial institutions that are working as usual with Russian businesses. But topic itself that businesses and businessmen worldwide are unable to operate freely and do business because of the illegal steps from Washington and Brussels definitely indicates how important it is for, especially for BRICS member states, and I believe for the rest of the world, to intensify work on alternative to the West financial and banking system. It's really necessary at this point. There can be no doubts about it, and I believe work is underway. And I don't know how long it will take, a year, 3 years, 5 years, but eventually we will have some alternatives, for sure. Also, by the way, somewhat interesting headline that EU's 13th package of sanctions against Russia is in force now, have been implemented. Some 200, and among these sanctions, there are some 200 citizens of Russia and some businesses included. And well, I would like to see that list of people in sanctions list if I am there. I'm not, of course, but it would be it would be funny if one day you will sanction me also. That will definitely indicate that I am doing something important and good. Although I am, but I know that I'm trying to do something important, be as informative and useful for community as possible. And well, also interesting headline that from RT, I believe, yes, that Russia donates 200,000 tons of wheat to 6 African nations. This is free deliveries, by the way. And the number of times I report about deliveries of Russian grain to countries in need, also fertilizers and so on. So our community not going to be surprised by this news. Also, by the way, India's foreign minister, legendary foreign minister, commented on relationships with Russia, and he said that Russia has never hurt India's interests, and therefore India will stand by Russia. Of course, more detailed information in a second update. Also, interesting headline that, according to New York Times, additional information during the Avdeevka operation, Russian armed forces most likely captured up to 1,000 Ukrainian POWs, which is interesting. Also, by the way, headline that Trump spoke about Russia. He was asked about Russia once again, and the former US President Donald Trump on Fox News called Russia a war machine that defeated Napoleon and Adolf Hitler, as well as the larger country compared to Washington's European NATO allies. Well, Trump was asked many times about Russia, and surprisingly, he's managing to always come out with these questions on top of these questions. Basically, some of the questions sometimes are quite provocative, but he's managing to deal with this question, which is kind of surprising because some may not really expect it from Trump, this level of understanding of some nuances in politics, geopolitics, but it is what it is, man. Also, headline that Zelensky criticizes protesters protesting Polish farmers. What a surprise. And Carlson, by the way, Tucker Carlson, in addition to his statements about Boris Johnson, that he was asking for $1 million for an interview, Carlson also stands by claims that US Secret Services tried to stop his sit down with the President of Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin. And headline also that Putin himself, President of Russian Federation, went to Kazan today to participate in the opening of the Future Games, so-called, that's the name of this new event that will take place in Russia, Future Games, and or Games of Future. And these games will take place from 21st of March to 3rd of from 21st of February to 3rd of March. And while being in Kazan, Kazan being capital of Tatarstan Republic, Autonomous Republic of Russia, Putin also visited a factory where planes are manufactured, including Tu-160 strategic bombers, and I believe he gave a name to one of the strategic bombers, name of former president of Tatarstan Republic. Also, by the way, interesting headline that Russia is to triple LNG exports by 2030, which is interesting news and definitely indicator that Russian energy sector is monitoring situation quite well on the energy market. And well, as I said in several of my updates before, most likely Russia will concentrate significantly to transfer, to redirect gas volumes that was previously supplied directed to Europe towards Asia. And one of the ways it's, of course, to transfer this pipeline gas into LNG and then transport it by tankers. Also, interesting headline that U.S. tech titans valued at more than most countries' entire stock markets, according to Deutsche Bank, which is Absolutely true. Top seven IT companies in US, probably worth several trillion US dollars, and of course it's a huge amount, much more than majority of countries' GDPs worldwide. And by the way, I will end this relatively short headlines with the statement of Zakharova, Maria Zakharova, official representative of Russian Foreign Ministry. And she said that Munich Security Conference that took place just several days ago in Munich, highlighted that that optimism among Western ruling elites about Ukraine and how Ukraine gonna defeat Russia is fading away, which is true, by the way, undoubtedly, and she's correct. And well, this is it. This is it for this headlines. I hope you will find this video interesting, somewhat informative, and useful. And if so, please click that like button, leave some commentary just about anything, any topic. More likes and comments probably will help me to reach wider audience. And for very same reason, please share links to my videos or my channels from both platforms, Rumble and YouTube, with your friends if you can. And finally, if you think this small media project of mine with several channels, several programs are interesting, useful, informative, deserves to exist, and has some potential, please consider to support my work with small donations through PayPal, Buy Me a Coffee, or by subscribing to my Patreon. You can see links on this video in the description box or in the pinned comment. This is it for now. Have a great day and take care.